see somebody on a hiking trail with carrying a little baby, and I say to them, better not get them vaccinated.
Oh my God. Like, you see just like a baby and a mom hiking and you go, oh, you better make sure that that baby is not vaccinated. It's like, dude, shut up. Leave me alone, man. What the hell is this? Why is there a Senate hearing where he's like talking? The Republicans invited him as a witness?
I have never been anti-vax. I have never told the public avoid.
Dude, that's so funny. Why would you say this? He's such a funny guy. Like, this is nearly identical to him being like, oh yeah, I never said COVID was created as a bioweapon to like ethnically target white people and black people, like Caucasian people and black people, and it actually avoids Jewish people, Ashkenazi Jews, and the Chinese. You know who said some insane anti-Semitic shit recently? Robert F. Kennedy Jr., dude. What? RFK Jr., okay? He literally said in a closed door meeting that COVID may have been ethnically targeted to spare Jews and the Chinese, okay? This is, of course, in between farting a lot, I guess. And then, do you know what RFK Jr.'s immediate response was? Do you know what he said immediately? He said, I love the nation state of Israel. I would never say that they have done crimes ever, so please don't say that I'm anti-Semitic.
Bioweapons. I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and
because he got hit with the bioweapon, dude. Well, never mind. I think it was heroin.
And you know, the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are because of the structure.
Yeah, totally, dude. Israel was also... You know what's funny about this? He's mixing up his conspiracies. Dumbass, you're supposed to say Israel's the most vaccinated nation and yet got eviscerated. Well, of course, with the with no Palestinians being vaccinated, but like Israel proper is the most vaccinated nation and yet had some of the worst COVID deaths. So you're supposed to say that. That's what you're supposed to say. You mixed and matched your COVID conspiracies. Which one is it? I thought Israel was the most vaccinated nation, and yet it still got like hit some of the worst in its aging population, you know?
The genetic structure.
Also, the irony of like saying Jews were spared when Jews, okay, ethnically speaking, comprise of so many different ethnic backgrounds, okay? There is no one Jew, dumbass. You're talking about Jewish people from literally all around the world. You got Sephardic Jews, Mizrahi Jews. You have so many different types of Jewish people from so many different backgrounds, so many different races. You have Ethiopian Jews. So like the idea, Ashkenazi Jews, exactly. The idea that like there's only one type of Jewish person and that it was like, they avoided that Jewish person is so stupid. Ay, dude. Holy shit.
Genetic differentials among different races of the receptors, of the ACE2 receptor. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese.
Oh, Ashkenazi Jews. That's what it was. That's why they're most immune. Got it. The guy looked at the camera because I think that's literally the dude who wrote this article for the New York Post. I'm pretty sure that's John Levine.
But we don't know whether it was deliberately targeted that or not. But there are papers out there that show the racial and ethnic differential and impact to that. We do know that the Chinese are spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing ethnic bioweapons, and we are developing ethnic bioweapons. That's what all those labs in the Ukraine are about.
The ACE2 variant he's talking about are only also found in 1.2% of Ashkenazi people. Other variants are even smaller. Yeah, it's pretty funny to say so consistently, like, no, this is real. COVID is a Chinese bioweapon, and the Chinese somehow created this bioweapon to like not target Ashkenazi Jews only, and the Chinese. Yeah. Also, but the Chinese are so immune to COVID that they went with a insane zero COVID policy. Like, they're super immune, but they also wanted to their own economy up, which is why they went with a zero COVID policy for the longest time until the Chinese people were like, dude, we can't do this anymore. Remember, Mr. Xi Jinping, remember, we're immune, dumbass. We're Chinese. We built this bioweapon. None of it makes sense. It doesn't even have to make sense. None of it makes sense.
They're collecting Russian DNA. They're collecting Chinese DNA. So we can target people by race.
I love the idea. I mean, here, I'll do a little bit of race realism here, humorously, but the idea of Ashkenazi Jews being mentioned in the not sick category is also the funniest way to do anti-Semitism. Like, the most objectively untrue thing you could have ever said, okay? It's like, oh, the Ashkenazi Jews famously never get sick, okay? Like, the rare moments where an Ashkenazi Jewish person will get sick. It's just so rare. Have you guys noticed that? Have you guys noticed that no Ashkenazi Jews ever get sick? Like, he said that. It's the fucking funniest way to try and push this narrative, okay? This is a Felix bit almost bar for bar. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, this is anyone who is Ashkenazi Jew themselves or someone who knows a single Ashkenazi Jewish person. This is a joke that, this is a joke that's been told a million times over, which is why it's additionally funny. Awesome. If I was in a room with RFK, I could convince him that chickens aren't real. No, this is one of the funniest aspects of like living in the modern world, where basically email chains are the only ways that these fucking brain broken boomers can like comprehend information. You 100% can trick them. These are adults that are trickable, okay? They're trickster adults. Like, they are the type of person who legitimately thinks like, oh, well, no one actually in the state of Turkey ever actually eats ice cream. I've seen those videos. I know it's true. The Turkish government doesn't have real ice cream. They don't want you to have it, okay? I've been tricked one too many times. I will not do it again, okay? You're a child. You're a fucking kid. You have a child brain. They all did damage control at the same time. My uncle's comments were hurtful and wrong. I unequivocally condemn what he said. Thank you, Joe Kennedy, former congressman. Like, why did he just say that and then immediately turned around and was like, oh, I never said that actually?
Misrepresented.
Our job is to resist and to talk about it to everybody. If you're walking down the street, and I do this now myself, which is, I don't want to do, I'm not a busybody. I see somebody on a hiking trail carrying a little baby, and I say to them, better not get them vaccinated.
Oh my God. That is, oh God, dude, anti-vaxxers are some of the most insane motherfuckers you've ever seen in your entire lives too. It's just like, it's like, dude, imagine being that fucking annoying. Like, you see just like a baby and a mom hiking and you go, oh, you better make sure that that baby is not vaccinated. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's also one of those things where it's just like it's not even a good, you're not even like cool, calm, collected. You're just also annoying. Not only are you unhinged, but you're also fucking so annoying.
And he hear that from me. If he hears it from 10 other people, maybe he won't do it. Maybe he will save that child. And before, we were all quiet because we wanted to get along with our families.
I love the idea that we're just like, we're owning everybody by showing that like this guy is an anti-vaxxer. It's like, yeah, everybody knew he was an anti-vaxxer already. I just don't understand. Oh God. 2 immediate relatives assassinated by the CIA will do that. Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's pretty much, it just like broke his brain from an early age.
You just take endless.
I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I've never told people to not be an anti-vaxxer. It's like, yeah, okay, dude, sure. I have a degree in microbiology. My ex's grandma was an anti-vaxxer and she brought it up to me constantly. This was a smart woman with a PhD, but she got unhinged. Yeah, something breaks in people's brains. I mean, I don't know. They're just something is bricked. Sam Cedar talks about how he used to hang out with him and he wasn't as unhinged back in the day, but became more so recently. Yeah. So RFK Jr. was like an environmental activist. Like he like I'm pretty sure he like legally defended indigenous communities and all this stuff. Like, and now he's going on Jordan Peterson's podcast to be like, yeah, actually, like Jordan Peterson is a full-blown climate change denier, right? Like straight up. And you got RFK Jr. who has like spent his life before the COVID stuff, before the vaccines, like he was always a bit of a granola kook on the vaccine stuff, but he absolutely was like a steady, loyal environmental activist. So now he's like talking to an actual oil lobbyist mouthpiece and defending the guy's sentiments. You know what I mean here?
I was actually concerned about talking to you today because I generally don't give my guests a rough time, but we, I think, have a profound difference of opinion in relationship to climate issues. And so one of the things that I've seen as I've traveled around the world is that the climate narrative, the apocalyptic climate narrative, we're destroying the planet and doom is nigh, has demoralized young people to a degree that's almost incomprehensible.
You know, I see these huge levels of depression and despair, loneliness in kids. I think a lot of the problems we see in kids, and particularly boys, it's probably underappreciated that how much of that is coming from chemical exposures, including a lot of the sexual dysphoria that we're seeing. That, you know, that these kids are being overwhelmed by a tsunami. I mean, they're swimming through a soup of toxic chemicals today, and many of those are endocrine disruptors. There's atrazine throughout our water supply. Atrazine, by the way, if you in a lab put atrazine in a tank full of frogs, it will chemically castrate and forcibly feminize every frog in there, and 10% of the frogs, the male frogs, will turn into fully viable females able to produce viable eggs. And if it's doing that to frogs, it could. There's a lot of other evidence that it's doing it to human beings as well.
I know that you're a long-term environmentalist and you're concerned on the climate front, but I've seen the climate apocalypse use fear to induce something approximating the same kind of level of tyranny, as far as I'm concerned, that characterized the vaccine lockdown. So help me sort that out and understand where you stand.
I think you're right. I agree 100% with you that this crisis is being used as a pretext for clamping down totalitarian controls the same way that the COVID crisis was. And it's the same people, it's intelligence agencies, it's the World Economic Forum, it's the Billionaires Boys Club at Davos. And it's the same kind of cabal of people who will use every crisis to stratify society toward, greater power for the super rich and greater power for the military, greater power for the intelligence apparatus, and less power for everybody else.
Like, I don't know how that changes. I don't know how that happens. YouTube removes video of RFK Jr. and Jordan Peterson for vaccine misinformation. Oh.